Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deepsouth Homestead on Porch Time today. It's kind of chilly out here, guys. The wind's blowing about 25 miles an hour, so I hope that it doesn't affect the video. It's been a kind of a warm few days, then a cold few days, warm and cold, and looks like now we're gonna have rain for a whole week this week. So just gotta hang in there. That's all we can do. This weather anomalies that we're having this time of the year is just wacky. It's up and down and up and down. I mean, one day it's 80 something, the next day it's in the low 40s. You know what I mean? It's just a roller coaster with the temperatures out here that we're facing. But nevertheless, everything's budding out. It's coming along. You know, we don't have any predicted freezes for at least 15 days, I know. So that's good. They got our temperatures up in mostly in the high 70s and some in the 80s. And so that's going to allow our trees to get budded out and, you know, just get maybe the fruit to get a chance to get started and everything to get up out of the ground, get growing, because we've got most everything planted now, except the very warmest of things, you know, field peas and stuff like that, butter beans. We're going to hold off on that. But anyway, guys, today I want to talk about something I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about. And that is the most dangerous animal on the planet. Now, you know, you stop and you think about that. It's, we as people, we don't really think about the most dangerous animal on the planet. Now, I've got friends, and, you know, we've been bear hunting and the grizzlies and stuff like that, and how that the, you know, once a grizzly spots you in the wild and you become his food and he tracks you, and, you know, it's a, you know, but there's an animal out there more dangerous than that. The polar bears. We think about the polar bears and how dangerous the polar bears are. They're man-eaters, you know, but yet we have something a little bit more dangerous than polar bears. And, you know, there's, in the deep south here, we don't think about too much as far as being dangerous animals. I mean, there are puma cats down here. There's panthers and things like that. I mean, we think about mountain lions. We think about coyotes. We think about wolves, stuff like that. If you live in the city, you think about, you know, animals. You think about raccoons and maybe possums and stray dogs and stuff like that as being some of the most dangerous creatures that we face. But guys, I want you to stop and think about something. There is a creature on the face of this earth, and the sad thing about it is we all are prone to this animal. There is no place on the face of the earth where this animal is not dangerous at. And he's everywhere. And yet he is the most dangerous that there is. And yet many of us don't even stop and give it a thought, because we tend to overlook it. And it's amazing to me how that something that's so dangerous is overlooked so many times. And, you know, Wanda and I were talking about this the other day, and I told her, I said, you know, with the way that the world is going, and the way that things is going to be happening here in the future, it's quite possible that that this animal that is so dangerous multiplies and becomes even worse than what it already is. Now, I'm hoping, guys, the wind is not too bad. My camera is just about to tip over. The wind's blowing so hard. And I'm sure, I don't know, y'all can't see it in the background because I got the background blurred on it a lot. But the trees are just swaying bad. And I'm sitting here about chilled in. But this animal, you know, believe it or not, it's spoken of in the Bible. And it's amazing that we don't even think about it most of the time. Now, this animal that I'm actually talking about walks on 2 legs instead of 4 legs. Now, I want you to stop and think about that. That's one of the reasons it's so dangerous, is that it's not what we're normally used to thinking of as being a dangerous animal. Because there's times it can be the most gentle and the easiest going and the most passive animal that there is on the face of the earth, the most loving animal that there is on the face of the earth. And it can change in a moment. It can go from being the most loving animal on the face of the earth to being the worst animal on the face of the earth. And that's what makes it so unpredictable, because none of us are immune from this animal. That's the part that's scary about it. None of us are immune. And yet, we don't even stop to notice that it's around us. And guys, the animal that I'm talking about is a human. A hungry, starving human is the most dangerous animal on the face of the earth. There is nothing that a starving human will not do to get food to eat. It will steal. It will kill. The Bible says they will even eat their young. Now stop and think about that. A mother will eat her child if she's starving? Yeah. Guys, we see it all the time. People end up committing crimes. They end up committing murders. They end up committing all types of vicious cycles of violence, all in the name of hunger. And as the world gets in worse and worse shape, especially with COVID-19, if this thing continues to go and they have to keep shutting down countries and quarantining people, look, if they quarantine you and you don't have any food, you don't care. You won't care if the cops are standing outside your place out there. You'll do whatever it takes. You'll sneak around. You'll try to kill them just so you can get out and get some food. If you've got hungry, crying kids that's starving to death, there is nothing you as a parent will not do to get food for those kids. Now stop and think about that. A hungry, starving human is worse than a grizzly bear. It's worse than a polar bear. Because hungry humans have something that animals don't have. See, animals work off of instincts. Humans have a brain that thinks. And when that brain gets hungry, they start thinking all kinds of vicious ways of being able to get food. They'll try to go the easy routes to start with. But the hungrier they get, they'll revert back to being wilder than the wildest animal on the face of the earth. And that's what makes them so dangerous, because they will sneak around, they will kill, they will do whatever they have to do. They will rob just to get food. And the sad part about it is, it's probably more than likely going to be the ones that did not prepare. The ones that sit back and said, oh, you know what? I don't know about all this prepping stuff. I think that's for the birds, you know? You people go ahead and prep. No, that's the ones that'll try to steal from those who do prep. I call them the thugs of life. They're the leeches. They're the ones that latch on, and they want to suck you to death. They're the kind that just, you know, you've got them in your families. I got them in mine. We all got them in our families. Let's just go ahead and be honest. They're everywhere. There's leeches in everybody's family. They're just sponges. I call them sponges. All they know to do is mooch. They live off of mom and daddy. They live off of grandma and grandpa. They live off of their aunts and uncles. They don't do anything for themselves. All they do is they just literally, they live with this person for a while. They live with that person a while. They never take the step to go out and have anything for themselves. And then when an LCE happens, they're the first ones to start hollering and complaining. Oh, well, my card don't work. Oh, my God, what am I going to do? There's no food in the stores. Oh, woe is me. What do we do? You know. Guys, those of us who prepare, when these times come, we have to make our minds up now. What will we do with these animals when they come? Because they will. I'll tell you, in survival training, I used to teach my people, you make a decision now. Who you will help, who you will not help. Because when the time comes, it ain't time to make a decision then. The time to make the decision is now. While you're not under pressure, while you've got a good square head on your shoulders, go ahead and make that decision as to who you're going to help and who you're not going to help. Because that day will come. And it looks like it's going to come pretty shortly. Because if things keep going the way they're talking about going, what is it, October of 2020 or 2021? I don't even remember anymore. There's so many numbers now. That the new ID card is supposed to be implemented and finished and complete. And for everybody in the United States, is supposed to have a new ID card. It takes the place of your driver's license, your credit cards. It's all in one. Your medical records, everything's on one card. What better way to bring that card into being than to create a pandemic and make the people believe that it's in their best interest to have just one card that does everything? Oh, how convenient that would be. You don't have to have a separate driver's license from a credit card or or better than that. What if you just have a chip? Why don't we just put a chip in you? You know? Then you won't have to worry about losing it. It's always with you. You don't have to carry a wallet. Nobody can scan your card. Nobody can steal your identity. How about that? When people have to start doing without, and they get hungry because there's no food on the shelves in the stores, and the viruses are running rampant, the pandemics are happening, stores are closing because of the flus and the viruses. People are freaked out. They're scared. They don't know what to do. They can't get any food. Then you're going to see how dangerous this animal will become. So guys, COVID-19 is the tip of the iceberg. It only gets better from this point forward. Just do yourself a favor. Start watching things like the dry Baltic Index. Look at how many things are down. The only things that are up right now on the dry Baltic Index was gold, lithium, palm oil, things to this nature. You would have thought silver would have been up, but no, silver was down. Gas is down, diesel's down, crude is down. All things are down. Go to the dry Baltic Index, pull up the chart and look. You know why that is? There's no shipping going on right now. They've retired a lot of the older ships. New ones hadn't been built. There's no commodities moving from nation to nation right now. COVID-19 has a lot of the ports shut down. Complete countries are beginning to quarantine cities and stuff like that. It's just a matter of time, guys. It's just a matter of time before this animal starts lurking in your neighborhood. And you have to start watching out for this animal. Right now, we're fortunate enough that there's not that many of them out there that's dangerous. But when LCE happens, and a massive one happens, and the shelves become empty, and people didn't prepare like they should have, that's when you're going to see these animals begin to get into gangs, and they're going to run in groups, much like wolves when they hunt. These animals will be hunting in packs. They'll have a leader over them, and they will go around and they will try to rob and steal and take all the food that they can get away from the people who have a little. So be prepared. This day is coming. This is not a doom and gloom message today. This video is about being aware of what is going on around you. COVID-19 is for a reason. Look, there's more people that die from the regular flu. There's more people that die from heart attacks. There's more people that die from car accidents. There's more people that die from just going to the hospital than they have from this virus. But yet it's being played like it's the worst thing that ever happened on the face of the earth. And the sad part about it is beginning to mutate. After this virus is mutated now, they're saying that it's actually causing the brain not to tell the lungs that they need to breathe. And people are dying because their natural response, their natural muscle reaction between the brain and the lungs is not working anymore. It's being blocked by the virus. And people are dying because they can't breathe. It's mutated into that, some of it. How far will it go? Who knows? That's why it's so important to be prepared, not only for this life, but for the life to come. It's very important that you prepare for the second life. The first one we know will pass away. But the second one, we will spend an eternity somewhere. And you need to make that decision where you're going to be spending it. Because should the animal come to your house and attack you and you're not ready, you could perish. Or you could catch the virus and perish. Or you could perish from something else. So it's very important that we're prepared not only for ourselves, but for our families. Guys, preparation is everything. Being prepared is not being a fearmonger. Being prepared is being wise. Look at the scriptures in the Bible. The Bible says, consider the ant. She is wise. She gathers in the summer for the winter. Why sleepest thou, O sluggard? Even the Bible tells us to be prepared. Noah, for 100 years, worked on an ark so that he would be prepared when the day come. Joseph, interpreting the dream of Pharaoh, prepared for 7 years, for the 7 years of lean that came afterwards, and survived and saved the nation. All throughout the Bible, we see that people prepared for uncertain days ahead. And it's no different now than it was then. It's important for us to prepare. Matthew chapter 24 tells us that we're fixing to start facing these things. Pestilences, earthquakes, famines, disease, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. All these things are going to happen. Prepare now for these things to happen. Guys, don't sit back and do nothing. Make sure you're ready, because COVID-19 is just the tip of the iceberg. It's got to start somewhere, and this place was as good as any. Thank you guys from Deepsouth Homestead.